Hello, coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca, and welcome to another interesting episode where we discuss on some interesting updates. We start with Ansu Fati at Tottenham Hotspur. Aston Villa are reportedly interested in the 35 million euro rated Barca attacking target prodigy. We are going to discuss on that as we move ahead. Secondly, we talk about Joao Cancelo as the right back's move to Barca have been delayed a little bit. He had to travel to Barca yesterday, but there is still no green light due to financial fair play checks. We are also going to be discussing on that. So as we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. If you're just coming across the channel for the very first time, you are very much welcome. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Even with just a week remaining before the transfer window slams to a shut, Barca starlet Ansu Fati has remained a hot topic in the market. The La Masia graduate continues to face uncertain future at Camp Nou, with the club open to sanctioning his sale by the end of the month. Even Fati's own camp is pushing for an exit, although the player has shown no desire to leave the club just yet. It is no secret that George Mendes wants Fati to leave Barcelona. The super agent wants the player to have regular minutes in order to continue his development. With that in mind, Mendes has offers from the Premier League for Fati, which are worth up to 50 million euros, according to reports from El Chiringuito. Fati has previously refused to join Wolverhampton Wanderers, despite a strong push from Mendes and Barcelona. But as per the report, the Spaniard is now attracting interest from Tottenham and Aston Villa. Although whether or not these two clubs are the ones offering 50 million euros is not specifically mentioned, they are certainly interested in signing the attacker by the end of the month. Barcelona, for their path, could be willing to sanction a late move for their young attacker, as it could bring in fresh revenue that might help them register the new players, including Marcos Alonso and Inaki Pena. The sale may also help Barcelona finalize the deal for Joao Cancelo, who is expected to have his medical soon. Mendes is expected to arrive in Barcelona this week, and the meeting with the club could be very crucial to determine the future of Ansu, whose market value stands at 35 million euros. Up to now, we keep talking about Ansu's undetermined fate at Barca. His future remains to be on the balance as the player wants to stay, but the club have been pushing for the player to leave, as well as super agent George Mendes, who happens to be his agent, have been advising Fati in order to develop his career, in order to keep his growth. He is just 20 years of age, and the way his agent and his camp, they are saying things, they think that Ansu Fati staying at Barca might just hinder his development into becoming a world-class player, as Xavi Hernandez does not value the player. Of course, we can clearly see that we hardly do we see Ansu Fati start matches. Majority of the time, he always comes from the bench and play very few minutes. So that has not stopped the rumor mill from bringing out this such report about the players' uncertainty at Barcelona. So with just a week left for this window, there are still a lot of doubt as to whether Fati will change his mind. Because at the end of the day, Fati has the yam and the knife. If he decides that he won't leave, he won't leave. But it's just a matter of advising him to make the right decision. Honestly, I wish Ansu Fati should stay at Barca. I believe that Fati has the skill set and everything to continue to deliver. Just the fact that last season he was not at his best form, that doesn't necessarily mean Ansu Fati is not a good player, right? We have seen Ansu's best sides last season. I don't know if it was more of a mental thing, but Ansu Fati, after having been fit majority of the season without any injury concerns, failed to deliver whenever given the opportunity by the manager. And I still don't get it if Javi is just using that last season performance as an excuse to trying to cash in on the player. So this new report tried to say Premier League interest is increasing with each passing day as Tottenham and Aston Villa have entered the list in his pursuit as they are trying to push for his move before the window comes to a close next week. But the question still remains, will Fati accept those offers from those Premier League clubs? Is Fati even considering possibility of leaving towards the end of the window? That remains a big question, right? So let's just see how the window goes. As I said, we don't have so much time for the transfer window to come to a close. And of course, there were some reports yesterday claiming that there have been a 50 million euro, I think, offer for Ansu from the Premier League, but no club was being specified, you know. So we don't know if it is indeed the Aston Villa who have made that offer or Tottenham. But I think with the coming days, we are going to know the actual truth of that. So for Fati's future, I think the rumor mill will continue to bring in every single thing about Ansu Fati's uncertain future until the window comes to a close. Then on to the next story of discussion. Everything appears to be tied up between Barca and Manchester City for the loan signing of Joao Cancelo. The 29-year-old is expected to sign for the La Liga champions on a season-long loan deal with a 25 million euro purchase option, which could be activated if certain conditions are met. It was suggested that the Portuguese international would be arriving in Barca yesterday and completing his medicals, but latest reports suggest otherwise. Indeed, Fabrizio Romano is reporting that Cancelo has not received the approval to travel to Barca yet. This is because the operation is yet to receive the green light as financial fair play checks are not allowing the deal to proceed. It is well established by this point that the Blaugrana have been bogged down by fair play problems again this summer. They have left 3 first-team players unregistered thus far and were always going to find it so tricky to sign and register Cancelo. The recent departure of Sergio Dest helps to a certain extent, but Clement Lenglet is yet to leave the club, and as such, FFP checks are not letting them proceed with the Cancelo operation. Despite the minor roadblock, though, there is optimism among all parties that the deal will be completed. In fact, Alfredo Martinez of Sport is reporting that Cancelo has already acquired a flat on rent in Barca in anticipation of his impending loan switch. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.